Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is this week's weekly review as we're ending up January, getting ready to work our way into February. The year has already started to move along nicely. I wish I could say the same thing about the U-apps. They are going extremely slow, although after my day off, I gave the phones, the earnings did pick up quite a bit, still just a little bit, definitely slow, and they're being slow on payout as well. First thing before I get into it, we're going to talk about the pending list. Sorry, I'm gonna have to get another whiteboard just to write this on. But we had another $10 cash out from CashMagnet, so of course that's going to be waiting. So now we're up to $20 pending from CashMagnet. And now we're at $5 from Yolato. We still have not received the payout from the previous week, and we've already done another $1 cash out for this past week. So it's been, that's $25 that's still waiting to hit the account. Unfortunately, it's not here yet, so we're going to take a look and see just what we did earn and where it came from. We're starting off with Monday, we had Volcno, which is actually not on the phone farm itself, but it is a website. I've done a video on it, and if you would like to check that out, it should be popping up on a card right above the video now. So click on that if you're interested. It is a website only available to U.S. residents with a actual address, a physical address. You cannot use a P.O. box with this website, but you review videos and everything like that. We also had a $5 cash out from AppFlame. They are the two cash outs from early in the week, and then about middle of the week we had another one. We had the day off on the 22nd, which I made a video about, and it definitely did make a difference as far as, especially, it definitely helped with the perk apps for some reason. Sometimes it works better, but perks seem to run better for a day or so afterwards, and then of course it starts to have some issues again. Unfortunately, I wish some of these companies would spend some time with their apps and make them a little more stable. Had an App Station payout for $5, and the end of the week looked pretty sad. I was hoping for that Yolato one to show up when there, just didn't happen. I don't cash out perk until I hit $25, and as you can see this week, I've earned $12.16. So we're over $20 in the perk account, but I like to save that 75 cents if you do the cash out at $25 versus, an even payout at $20 itself. So next week we should see a perk payout show up. Hopefully CashMagnet will pay at some point. I had a couple questions that I may get into in other videos. There is a video I will be doing on Tuesday with another app-like app, and there will be another link to that, so there will be some earnings there. It is a new one. It was recommended to me by the Gray Bear. This is his last opportunity. I sent him a message trying to get his referral link. Last opportunity. If you're watching the video, the Gray Bear, post up your link for it. Sorry everybody, had a crisis with my son's video game. He actually is playing NASCAR Heat 3, and he's using the steering wheel and kind of got spun around, had some trouble getting out. He's 8, so it's a new experience learning to race with the wheel, but ultimately it should be a good driving experience to help with later in life. Back to what I was saying, there is another app-like app I will be talking about on Tuesday. We will get hopefully start to fill out these phones a little better, especially with U-apps not working so well. The more of these pay-to-download apps you can run, the better. Right now, as we look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get paid to, not get paid to, pay-to-download app-like apps running. So that's 5 out of, really there's 9 now that you could have. You know, the longer you run these, the more you have to wait to get apps that show up. So you figure out of 20 phones roughly that are running, 5 of them are running with app-like right now currently. Vigil, I have 4 phones running on Vigil. I know it says 1 per account, but there are people running many, many more than that with no problems. And right now, other than a day or so after my reset and my day off with the phones, that is my only perk earner, unfortunately. I really wish Perk would get their stuff straight, because some of the other Perk TV I was able to run for about a day before I experienced problems, and then Perk Word Search was another one, was like about a day and a half. That allowed me to run pretty decently, but then once again drop back into problems. So you can see this line over here. Vigil almost always works flawlessly. Occasionally they'll have some problems. There was updates to the U apps. All of them had updates, so I did update those, but it really hasn't helped too much with the consistency of seeing ads. Everything, I know it's still January, but you know, you can't expect a lot in January. I understand it, but they really have, you know, I don't know what the deal is. Over the past month to month and a half, their payout time has gone from steady 2 to 3 days to pay out to now it's been 2 weeks without a Yolato waiting on a pending one. So I don't know if Yolato's gonna be one of those ones that's going on the wayside. I don't know if they're having problems. I'll send them another email and see what they said. I talked about it in my last video. You know, I sent an email to them, and they came right back with my payout. So I don't like to do that. I don't like to feel like I have to pressure somebody into paying on it, especially when it's they've been so good over time. I mean, we saw they were the #1 earner of an individual one for last year for me. So it's not a company I want to give up on. I really do hope they can get their stuff together. But right now, you can see the app-like apps are by far what's feeding the account. Because as I look back to last week, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we had $20 in cash outs last week and $10 this week. So that's $30 from app-like apps in the past 2 weeks. And that's made up the vast majority of the phone farming's income itself. Now, obviously, Perk, like I said, with waiting, Perk will ultimately take a little longer. It'll be a big hit, but earnings are so slow kind of right now, even with Perk. I wish more of their apps would work well. That you need to, that 75 cents makes a big difference. So it is an extra 75 cents you can save if you go out that far. You can ultimately save $3 if you go to $100. I just don't necessarily trust an app to leave that much money on it. I've seen too many times where apps go under and you end up losing it. Same thing with some of the websites. Don't let yourself get that high of money sitting in an account. I would cash out. $25 is like my max. I don't like to leave more than that in the account, because I just don't trust a lot of these companies to pay, and you never know. That's money that's earned. If you can cash it out earlier, that's great. App-like, for the most part, I cash out at $5 now, just because I haven't had the great apps that allow for a big push. So I can't push to that $20. That $20 may take a while, although you do save quite a bit by waiting to cash out at $20. I just cash out at $5 when they're available. I have so many of them, it's just on a nice rotation. It keeps even, consistent money coming into the account. And I think you'll see next week, it'll be the same thing. You'll see app-like apps being back on the calendar as far as the #1 earning apps for the week itself. It's been the same this week as it was last week. Right now I have 2. I have the tablet and I have another phone that are running CashMagnet. Almost ready for another payout that I will ultimately be waiting on, but it's still earning. They've paid me every time. It just is months in the making, and then I'll have to send another email again, once again, if you don't stay up on these companies, I give them some time, but once we get into 8 weeks, it's time to start sending out those emails. It's time to try and get paid. And don't forget also, on your primary phone that you're using, one that's not set up on the board to run other stuff, make sure you're using receipt apps. I use 3 of them. They are always good. You're always buying things. You always get receipts. Make sure you scan them in. That's income that you can add on. It's almost like couponing. It's one of them things you can save money, get yourself some cash outs. Surveys are always paid well. They do take a while. You know, the money for the time isn't great, but surveys like Pay Your Selfie, I like doing because it's generally on Saturdays. I get $1 one. I can take a selfie if it qualifies for me. You know, if it's something I can do, I take a bit of time and I take that selfie because it's $1. It takes a while to cash out. You're only going to get 2 or 3 cash outs a year, but at $20 a piece, you figure what's 40 or 60 bucks extra, you know? And you're really not doing anything, then generally once a week you take a selfie of yourself with a product or something that they ask you about. You do a couple questions and that works out great there. I may do a video on what's on my primary phone and what I use. There are a few, like I said, apps as well, some sweepstakes that I try my hand at just because on my primary phone it's easier. It's not something I want to dedicate the time to constantly press, but you know, when it's available, I do it. Same thing with surveys. I use all surveys on my primary device as well. Panel app I run on a number of devices, super passive, but you're not going to make a whole lot of money off of it, but it doesn't do anything but sit there and run on your phone itself. Collects data that your phone collects anyway, so people are always worried about privacy and stuff like that. The fact of the matter is, if you have your phone on, it's collecting data. If you have your phone off, it's still collecting data. The only way for sure is take your battery out of it and the SIM card out of it, and you can make sure it is not collecting anything. But even turned off, there is certain data that the phone still does collect that you may not want to have collected, but it does it anyway as far as some of the things that it does. But in the world of phone farming, that's what pays you, so you have to let these apps get the data they want, because ultimately that's how we get paid. We get paid for watching ads. We get paid for letting companies experience what we're doing as far as our location. Most of these, even on the Vigil apps, you're still clicking to turn on the location. So Perk is collecting where your phones are at when they're running the stuff. Even though they're running other things, they are collecting information on your phone. You do give them access to a number of things on your phone. So just don't think that it's only doing what you think it's doing. It is also collecting a large amount of data as well. I thank you all. I'm going to end this video here. Let's hope for a better week next week. I really don't, especially the end of the week. I was really expecting to see a Yolato payout this week, which would have been an extra $5. So right now, this week, we sat at $15 that hit the account. Next week, hopefully, we'll see a perk cash out. I think I only need about $4 more to hit that $25 mark. So we should see a perk cash out. Generally, they pay within 2 days. No problems there. There was lots of new stuff on Volcno on that website. So if you want to try it, there's lots of movies that need to be watched. And you can make quite a bit of money on there. I'm actually close to another cash out there. So, and they pay quickly. They pay generally within 30 minutes. There is no wait for them. They'll pay out to Amazon gift card very quickly there. CashMagnet, the constant wait as always. And Yolato, really disappointed in Yolato this week as far as the total earnings. They had updates for all their apps, so I went through, updated everything. Still, only for about a day or so, saw good results. I wouldn't have had any money at all last week from Yolato if it wouldn't have been for the day after I let the phones sit for a day. I made the dollar basically that I was able to cash out in that day alone, and everything else was pennies. For a number of phones, I mean, you're talking, there's 5 phones right here running 6, 7, that's 8 phones. Not all of them ran, some of them ran perk, but that's just pretty pitiful earnings even for a bad week. So Yolato really needs to get together what they're working on, and hopefully we'll see better weeks. Like I said, Vigil questions, I ran 4 phones. Other questions were, could I do a video on to show how you go in and clear the cache for the apps so that you can get some better earnings. I kind of listed what you do to get there. I guess I could do a video on it if everybody wants to see it. I know a lot of people are new, so I may go in and actually do that video. I think I've done something similar once before. I may add in how to do the Google ID as well. I've done it, like I said, once before, another video, but I guess it's never a bad time to re-update and show how it's a little different on some different devices, because some of your devices, depending on the operating system, will have a little different way of going about doing things. And then the other one was, could I please show how I run my app-like apps? Now, I've talked about it for app-like and FitPlay in one of my original videos over a year ago, how I set my phones up to run for 24 hours, and also talked about it in each one of the apps. I may lay out all the phones so we can see the app-like apps, how they look different from each other, how some of them work different from each other, and overall what my strategy is for app-like itself. It is a number of people always ask me in the comments on my videos how how to better earn with app-like. So it seems like app-like apps are really doing well right now. A lot of people asking about it. A lot of people asking how can you make more coins with the same app. Unfortunately, there is no way to go in and physically get more coins other than check out each app, because I have noticed the same one may be offered at a higher coin value per minute on one of the app-like apps, whereas another one may offer it at lower. Right now, the lowest ones you generally see are 8 coins per minute. That is the absolute lowest that you tend to see from app-like itself. So there's nothing you can do. You get what they offer, and my suggestion is download everything they offer. Run it for at least 24 hours, and then you can go back and see how close you are to your next payout, and you can rerun apps that pay higher. There are ways that you can reset your phone so that these apps don't show up that you've downloaded them before, and you can make some more money. It can be risky with changing your app-like apps over from one device to another device or to a reset, because they'll hit you with that suspicious activity, and now all of a sudden that app is dead in the water for you. You're not earning anything. So my advice, if you're going to try it, cash out first. So if you lose it, you lost it, it's fine. You can make a new account and try again. But you really have to, especially if you're working on referrals or you push lots of referrals, you really should be careful in doing stuff like that, because when you make that new account or when you do that new setup, you do lose your referrals, because you will get a whole new referral link when you do it. I will talk about that all separately in an app-like video, because now that I'm talking on this video about it, I realize there is actually a lot I could go into. So look forward to that in the future. Also some more apps to go over, and also anything new that goes on with the fish tank. I kind of want to do a review on that app as well, because I had an update for my firmware on my light, and it did not go so well with their app itself. So, and I looked onto the app that they use to adjust your lights. There are a lot of problems with it. I ended up going with it through their website on my computer, and the computer works really well with the lights, the app not so well. So I may talk about that in a fish update video here in a week or so, but we'll continue with that as well. Everybody, I've been working on getting some stuff set up so that I can stream games from my Xbox. Greg over at the Cash Room put me in the right direction to talking about maybe doing a Twitch channel with some console gaming. I do have a camera that works fine with it. I do have to get a pair of headphones and a microphone that work with the Xbox One, and maybe I can do a little bit of console gaming. I know it's not as nice as being able to run it through OBS. I don't have a capture card. Maybe I can add that in at some point and can run OBS as well. I don't know why the camera's just not doing real well today. Don't know if it's something with my phone or not. I hate it to be blurry, but it just is. It just doesn't want to focus today. I don't know what it is, but I thank you all for watching, and as always, everybody, have a great day.